Good to go. So, Carmen, the floor is yours.
Okay, all good? So good night, everybody. Thanks for being here. So today we'll just keep going on what we started last week, which is the history of Spiritism introduction. Introduction to Spiritism, but the first two chapters are more history and what happened, how it started, and what is it. So today will be, the title is, what is Spiritism? And where it came from. A little bit more, because we spoke about last week on the sisters from Edenville that used to talk to the walls and found out that walls or the noises had some brains behind it, that some intelligent being was commanding the knocks. But anyway, that's when it started. And today we'll see how Kardec got into it. So this is just so Kardec started this investigating some phenomena on those Ouija boards, which wasn't Ouija boards, but it was some tables they call turning tables. The tables used to knock their legs on the floor or making noise or floated in the air. And Kardec started at the time known by Professor Rivail. In French, probably a different way of saying it, but anyway. He started investigating it, and he thought, I want to see it. I need to see it to believe it. And so he got really intrigued by the phenomena and started to investigate it. So that's where the house, where he started first time in investigating those phenomena. And he had okay, I'll say this later, because one of the things is before we go into psychography, one of the things Kardec said was he was in one of those sessions, and the spirits told him that he was advised that he would be the one that needs to do investigate, but also told him that he was in the past lives he was a druid in Celtic culture, and he was and his name was Allan Kardec, Professor Rivail. So that's why Allan Kardec got or adopted that name, the name of Allan Kardec, because it was a name that he had in his previous incarnation or previous incarnations. So when he started investigation, he implemented a new, instead of using the table hitting the floor and floating in the air, he invented this equipment, a new mechanism that has a pencil and a board that the medium would put the hand on top, and obviously got some wheels underneath to start to write something. That was the first tool that they used to receive answers. So they could ask a more complex. The questions could be things better than yes or no answer. They could ask better questions and have more complete answers with this method. And at the very beginning, he used to have these two teenagers, two girls, 14 and 16, that were the mediums that he mostly used of his time on doing the investigations. Let's see, did I do it right? Yes. So indirect, so we call indirect method is this planchette or the basket with the wheels and this board is called indirect method because the medium would put their hands on this board and the the whole board would move to write something. It was really action of the spirit on the matter to make the equipment to move. So that's why it's called inject. So in time, the basket spinning top become less useful when the hands were there, and a phenomenon known as the basket itself does not become intelligent, but only serves as an instrument. So really, it was moved by the hands of the mediums, but directed by the spirits. So these people help ask and help Kardec to compile and analyze more than 50 notebooks of communication received by the mediums. So he is being a very educated person and very methodic and with a scientific mind. He was very he has the right resources, let's put it this way, to really codify and organize all different questions and communications and answers, but also cross-reference different responses from different spirits in different places for the same questions. So he was the one that went through all of this, all this information that was available at the time. So he was necessary, therefore, to act not lightly, but rather with circumspection. He was very careful to make sure that would not say anything that was untrue or that could jeopardize the credibility of the new doctrine. So he realized that to prepare a complete body of knowledge, it was necessary to methodically prepare questions that would be addressed to the spirits every week. So he prepared the questions, and he sent his questions not only on that house with those teenagers that were there in Paris helping him, but around the world to different mediums in Europe and in America, got the answers back. The mediums from one side didn't know the others, they don't have communication between themselves, and then he compiled the answers for those questions. What did they say, and do they agree or disagree? So are the different spirits responding to different questions, or maybe saying spirits for different mediums answering the same questions are giving the same answer? And that's how he compiled all the information that we have in the books. So he received communication from almost 1,000 series of spirit centers. And then he has contact with 37 countries, America, Africa, Asia, and different cities. Yes, Colleen, go.
So it is fascinating that Kardec's name is at the fore, but he was approached by a number of academics, wasn't he? In 2 slides back are the names of some of those academics that recognized his fluidity in research and his comfortability in not profiling, it is compiling, but not only compiling, but synthesizing. So he was approached and was given great support to do such work. Often we read about these individuals, but it is a body of people that allow for him to be energized to perform such a contribution. Yeah.
Yes, true. Thanks, Colleen, for this note. Yes, true.
Yes, yes. We like to put individuals on a pedestal and not allowing for the greater picture to be revealed, because for some reason we love heroes, don't we? Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So the people that he contacted and that answered the questions were all different corners of the world, and the answers came through very different mediums. It was not dependent on only one person. He compared responses for different people from different countries, different languages. He was not connected to any religion or any creed or social class. So it was really something completely random and vary of the type of people that were the mediums and were in the places in the world where those questions were sent. So it was like very widespread questions for widespread people. So by comparing all the answers and matching all the answers and classifying and revised, then he compiled the first edition of the Spirits book. So Spirits book was the first one that was written by Kardec in 1857. It was first time out the door, introduced to the public in Orleans Royal Palace in Paris. So he really started in 56, investigating. 57, he got the Spirits book. Spirits book has more than 1,000 questions and answers for all different spirits, from all different spirits. So nobody wants to publish the Book of Spirits. So the first edition was 1,200 copies only. Kardec itself published it. So the publication was a big success. It became a bestseller and was reprinted 15 times while Kardec was still alive. So he only did the first publication, and obviously it spread like for all over. So in 58, just after the publication of the Spirits book, I then founded the Society for Studies, Paris Society for Spirit Studies, and they started the first magazine. It was the Spiritism magazine. It's a journal of Spiritism studies. And Kardec was the editor-in-chief until his death in 69. So there are 12 volumes of the Spiritism magazine, and it can be accessed through the internet if they are available. And it's part of the codification, they say, so we can read it. From his first contact with Spiritism in 55, he spent 14 years organizing Spiritism, which he would finish in March 69 when he died. But in 69, I think it was 69, January 69, he published the last book, which was Heaven and Hell. I think it was Heaven and Hell. Or it was Genesis. Which one was the last one? Heaven and Hell. Yeah, this one was the last one, right?
Genesis.
I'm not crazy.
Yeah,
Is it?
Genesis was the last one.
Genesis is the last one? Last published. Okay, Genesis was the last one. Okay, so Genesis was published in January, he died in March. So it was very close call. So he finished, in theory, and then later on his son published like a posthumous notes that all notes he left behind. It was collected by his son, and so we can read it as well. But while in a very short period of time, he did like a huge amount of work, and he managed to produce 5 wonderful books that he really codify and answer many questions. 5 fantastic books. So in 57, the Spirits book, it is just a small summary. What is the Spirits book? It was published in 1857. Is the main book of Spiritism because it got all the questions and all the answers. Most of the questions we have today, they are there, and we can get an answer. And it's a backbone to the Spiritism. Divided for parts anyway. 1,019 questions. Who is God? Why we are here? Where we come from? Where we are going? All of those things are there. It got some explanation for basic questions. It got some ethical laws. So Spiritism books cover a range of subjects. The Medium's book, see, was published in 61, and it tries to be, it seems to be manual, like a booklet to help people that are mediums, how to behave and what to do, and all different circumstances that a medium can encounter being a medium. So it contains the benefits and dangers of being a medium and how to connect to the spiritual world, and shows the human being the ability that who has the ability, how the person detect or realize that the ability exists, and how can you contact the spirits.
It also explains the different types of medium.
The
type of spirits.
It goes in details, the types of connections and types of spirits or types of medium abilities. It goes through ethics and morals of medium. It's all there. It's a very interesting book to read.
How to analyze and assess the quality of the connection and the spirit behind it.
Can you hear what Jackson's saying? No? It's just a note to say, how do you know who you're talking to? If it's a good spirit or bad spirit. So it tells you, it's kind of a manual.
It's not really manual.
It's not really manual, but it gives some guidelines. It's interesting. The Gospel According to Spiritism is also a very important book. It was published in 64. It is the moral part of the Spiritist doctrine, and it is based on the Jesus teachings. And it explains Jesus' teachings on moral and ethics, on the Spiritist view or light, and comments in easy language, saying it's understood language upon the main passages of Jesus. Explains the parables, always using a Spiritist perspective on the parables, and explaining what is their meaning and what is their teachings. This is also a very important book of Spiritism. Sorry, I'm not asking if anyone has questions. You just let me know if you have any questions or if you want to say anything. Colleen? Yes?
Hello again. I wanted to add that the medium's book.
Yes.
The medium's book, no. The Book of Spirits, the Spirits book,
Yes.
is a compilation of 1,000 and some questions. And it is clear that the entities were involved or not involved, but directed the book itself, how it was put together. But the following books are also from communications. It is interesting, it isn't just Kardec's view, but the other books as well are directed by and a compilation of what the entities of a higher order have imparted and shared with us. It isn't just Kardec going, well, I've got a handle on this, so I can write the next bit myself.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, I should have said that.
Yes, it is
I
important.
assume everybody knows that, but sorry, of course, it is. None of this came from Kardec itself. It's all being dictated or directed by the spirits that were coordinating this endeavor.
Yes,
In making sure that what needs to be done on those books were in those books.
yes,
So Kardec was a big part of it, but the spirits of truth and all the other spirits that collaborate with the answers also collaborate to all these papers. They are in all of the books. It all came from the spirits they're connected at the time. Oops.
Sorry, I just have a side comment
Yes.
on this slide about the gospel according to Spiritism. And I say that because at the moment in our gospel at home, we are doing the medium's book. So like usually use 2 books on our gospel at home. And the medium's book is the book of time. And here there is a say that say, what is in this when he says a gospel according to Spiritism, but I would say you can use the same comment because I strongly believe that was the intention when they, did the books and the answers and the communications and blah blah, saying, is this book Kardec and Superior Spirits commenting in an easily understood language? But I believe that is about the language of 1900s because I cannot say how many times we stop what we're reading in Google the meaning of the words.
Yeah, you read this edition, 2 old editions.
An old edition, because there are new ones actually.
Yeah,
we need a new Kardec to write it again.
Yeah, there are new translations that are better.
The point is that Jesus spoke with parables, right? That in several cases are difficult to be understood. And Kardec bring this in a way that we can understand, yeah. But yes, the language is...
It's a very robust...
It can be complicated, yes.
Yeah, no, of course. It's just like a joke aside, because of course they use the language that's the way they, used to say and write back then. The same way, like if you get a book today from someone, it's gonna be a different way, the way we write and say. But like in many passages when they're trying to explain things, and I say, gosh, I don't know what that word means. And then we have to Google and then read again. And then sometimes we discuss for maybe 5 minutes, just a little thing, try to really understand. Of course, we get the meaning what they say, but in saying that, I think it's good because you're really you're studying Spiritism and then trying to get your morals and your spirits, but also you're studying grammar and Portuguese if you're doing Portuguese, or in English if you're doing English. So you got kind of 2 in 1. So it's like a win-win situation there.
Kardec stated too that he wanted to create a new lexicon for the study of spirituality, because so many books are written about so many things, philosophy and education and such things. But for the new endeavor of delivering Spiritism to the world, or spiritualism, it needed often to incorporate new words. And this is why too it is often so difficult, because there is not a common, what is that? It is like a culture that surrounds a philosophy. For example, in Platoism or Aristotle, there is a culture that surrounds the vocabulary itself. But with Spiritism, yes, it was new and so often very awkward. Yes. Yeah,
not only that, that's true as well. There is the language itself, which is obviously some phenomena didn't exist and didn't have a name for it. Some things needs to be invented. Obviously, the language itself needs to be created. There's many expressions that was created by Kardec, but also, and like Marcelo says, the idea of the gospel specifically is making the parables of Jesus more accessible, more easily to understood, and explaining in our, like it says here, explain his parables and show the grandiosity of Jesus, and also important advice for our daily life, because it translates the message into our day-to-day life. So that's the idea. You could read the Bible, obviously, and read the parable and take your own conclusions. Kardec tries to put in light of Spiritism what it means in an easily way. So there's two ways of look at it. Yes, there is a difficulty with the new words, but also there is the try of helping understanding the parables. So
pode tirar o teu som aí. Okay, so hello. Still need to get microphone. Okay, the book of the gospel also heavily incorporates the idea of reincarnation, the idea of multiple lives on the parables, on the Bible, because apparently the Catholic Church, when they made the New Testament, they took out everything that could imply on multiple lives, on reincarnation. What Kardec showed that if you incorporate the idea of reincarnation into the gospel becomes much more clear,
much more meaningful.
Much more meaningful. So he gave that as an evidence as well. So he used the gospel to show that its reincarnation is evidently, even spelled clearly in the gospel, right? And then yeah, okay. When you go to the heaven and hell, I will say something.
Which is the next one. And the next one is heaven. Heaven and Hell, which was published in 1965. So really it was a very short period of time, a big section of publishing of books. So he describes the experience of life in the spiritual world, after that. So independent of class or culture or beliefs, it explains to everybody what happens. You don't, so because you're rich, you go this way, and if you are poor, you go that way, or if you are, if you believe in this, you go this way. It's just like one for all. The rules apply to everybody, the independent of what they believe. In Genesis.
No, I want to say something.
Jackson wants to say something.
Okay, in regards to the heaven and hell, the book is divided in two parts. The part number one, he actually describes the hell from the point of view of a Catholic Church. Yes, exactly. And then the absurd that this belief is in relation to the, is the infinitive love and good that is God. So this is totally incompatible or non-compatible with the idea of God, love, and salvation. And he also describes heaven as eternity, this kind of thing. And that part is pretty much a discussion between the idea of Spiritism and the how can I say, the argumentation that he puts strikes to those who are against, who are non-believers, materialists. Okay. The second part, it's a description of a number of persons that disincarnate around that time, and in the 50, 20, 30 years, around that time, people that had some kind of known lifestyle, and he divided those in 3 or 4 categories. So the good ones, the good souls, the souls that were suffering, the souls, the people that was the suicidals, right? The suicides, and the low, very low souls. What they found, how they feel, what happened when they just died.
So they report themselves.
They report themselves. It's quite interesting reading on that part. That's the second part of the book. Okay, so that's heaven and hell.
Yeah, so that's different people, different classes, but they report what happened when they die and what they experience. In Genesis, it was published in 1968. He explains the Genesis, or explains Genesis in light of the Spiritism, demonstrating the rationality when compared to scientific knowledge, without the parodial was allegories around the biblical Genesis, and explain the miracles by the laws of nature as products of alterations in the energy that surrounds us, and cause religion and science to stand together. For the first time, we have some explanation that puts religion in science, if you could call Spiritism at the time a religion, side by side, so let's put this way, not one against the other.
So Genesis is another beautiful.
Yeah, it's a fantastic book to read.
So Genesis is another beautiful book to read as well. It's not an easy book to read. It's a little bit more, how can I say, it's descriptive. We need to have a little bit of knowledge in terms of physics, but give you a good idea, absolutely good idea of the vastness of the creation, and how Earth is nothing, and all the multiple, matter, and so it gives you beautiful descriptions of the multiple worlds as well. It's a quite scientific and quite entertaining book as well. It's quite fascinating book to read, but it's not easy.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good book to read.
Sorry. Talking about Genesis, unfortunately, it's not in English, but for those that speak Portuguese, there is a study on YouTube about the Genesis, but it's actually the Genesis from the Bible. But Haroldo Dutra does bring a lot of information from like the Bible and compare with the Genesis from Allan Kardec, and showing like the terms are just like different words, but are telling the same thing, because when the Bible was written like 2000, even more, like, ages ago, because that was before Jesus, like the language, the way they interpret the things, and how they have, all of those things, and how the Genesis from Kardec. So it's a very interesting study. It's like maybe how many episodes?
I think there are like 100 and something episodes.
Yeah, but for those who drive and need something to keep listening to, it's a way of pastime. Like you keep on listening and absorbing the things. Are very interesting. So we will share later on the Past Friends the link for that study, but unfortunately it's in Portuguese. But I strongly believe you could put the subscription in English from YouTube. So if it interests you.
Have a look. So Allan Kardec died just after he published the last one, which was the Genesis. So just a note that he died as he lived. He worked. He used to work a lot. And he was handling an issue of the Spiritism. That's how he died. He had an aneurysm on his brain. He was handing an issue of the Spiritism Review book to a bookstore clerk who just bought one, and he bent over and without pronouncing a single word, he died. So that's these two dying born in 04, dying 69, March. So this is a quick chronology of the Spiritism with Kardec. So in 57, he published the Spirit's book. 58, the journals, the start. In 61, the Medium's book. The 64, Gospel. In 65, Heaven and Hell. 68, Genesis. And in 90, the Postmortem Works, which was compiled by his son. And then I got some questions here, but the note here is that yes, to understand the Spiritism and to know what is it, of course, there's lots of studies and different bibliographies around for us to read, but reading those 5 books would be a very good start. So whoever is interested, start with the Spirit's book, which is a lot of questions. Read the book, read the Gospel, which is a very good book to read. If you're interested in the mediunic phenomena, you can read the Medium's book, but in Heaven and Hell is really fantastic, and Genesis is good. All the books are good. I really enjoy reading all of them. So I would say it's good. If you didn't read them, you can start.
Just one additional comment. We're talking about the Genesis. The Genesis made a very, very interesting analysis of the Genesis of the Bible.
Okay.
It goes about why Moses said such and such thing, what was the cosmology of the time. It was fantastic. It's like the water on top, the water underneath. That's what they taught.
Yeah, what they mean.
That
means. Yeah.
That's only there is one chapter on the Genesis that explain all of this. It's fascinating.
The language in Genesis itself, Moses' language, because obviously with so many translations, we end up losing a little bit of the original meaning. It's hard to know what exactly was the meaning of what was written. So, but anyway, we can all go by what we have. But if you have any comments,
It's called the
Pauline?
Genesis mosaic.
Sorry, I have always something to say. Yes.
Excellent.
Yes, it is fascinating that Kardec's work stands out historically and alongside Darwinism and Darwin's books and other leading academics of the time. Whilst the world was reeling, and yes, let me say that the spiritualism, the movement that was kicked off by the Fox sisters, it spurred on the spiritualist movement, and that was to explore the spirit world through turning tables or tapping tables, Ouija boards, and spiritualist church was established then as well, that encouraged mediums to develop their skills and to bring forth spirits that would deliver messages to loved ones. it was a time of sensationalism. There were great public demonstrations on stage. It was a time when the illusionists gained great popularity because they actually, yes, they gained a great deal from the spiritualist sensation and bought into and found a great audience because they were able to partake in the incredible, what is it? Yes, spectacle
Yeah.
of what was being experienced, not only turning tables, but the turning on of lights and the movement of furniture and people coming out of cupboards and all kinds of things were experienced. But yes, so it is interesting. The second Prime Minister of Australia, Alfred Deakin, was a spiritualist, and he was a part of the Victorian Spiritualist Union. So there was, even here in Australia, quite a following for the spiritualist movement, which was the acknowledgement of the spirit world in this world and their interactions. But it seems that, yes, so much was focused on the sensationalism that it almost, even today, and this is not taking anything from the spiritualist movement, but it seems to stop with the sensational. It seems to stop with the passing on of messages from those that have departed to loved ones here. And Chico Xavier was certainly a part of that as well. He spent a long time assisting those who were dealing with grief and with unresolved relationships and such things. But the spiritualist movement was, and still remains, to be stuck in the order of trying to convince those that sit in almost disbelief that there is a spirit world, and then thereby putting on demonstrations to convey. And that is why we have traveling mediums, to convey to the general public that the spirit world is real. So there was a real obsession with trying to prove. But Kardec moved on from that and said, well, there is something much deeper here. There is something much deeper that we can learn. And this is why it is incredible, the depths of investigation that was embraced by the spiritists at the time is incredible, and such a yes. I have been speaking to some spiritualists, and there is that sense, even though they are mediums, that they are 90% sure that what they are doing is kosher. 90% sure.
Sure.
Which means that there is a lack of understanding and a lack of connection to the knowledge that exists, and that is not only Kardec's work, but others, such as, yes, that have scientifically proven, but with a huge amount of evidence to support not only the existence that there is life after death, but there is an incredible life that exists in worlds beyond this one. And that is why his work is not superficial. It is incredible, and laid the foundations for greater works to come through, especially from, yes, Givaldo Franco and Chico Xavier and such. such entities. Yes, yes. It is important to place him in a historical, yes, significant place. Yes. Yes.
I just read this as just a parenthesis here. I just read maybe this last week, that a scientific person did the study and recognized that, I'm not sure now if he believes he did this experiment, but he affirms that he strongly believes maybe that when we die, we don't disappear. Yeah, our spirit, he believes that there is an energy. I don't know, he proved that there is an energy or something like that. But he's some big physics person, which is a scientist on no religion, that says, no, we don't die. When we die, we don't disappear. There is another dimension. He talk about dimension in energy, that we turn into energy. So really, it is nowadays, I believe, a conversion of trying to explain, not for spiritists or spiritualist people, but I mean more from scientific side, many people trying to accommodate different concepts more than before. But yeah, that's it. Do you want to do the last prayer?
No, you do.
And Paulino, would you do the meditation, like a 5 minutes meditation for us?
What, sorry?
The meditation, like a quick meditation for us?
Do you want someone to do it for you?
No, Colleen.
You have me, Colleen. Okay.
Sorry, Colleen, to put you on the spot. Would you do that? Mine last week wasn't good, so you're much better.
That's all right. The only way for us to improve is doing it.
That is a laugh, Carmen. That is a laugh. Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Something else? Stop.
Just a minute, Jackson
Stop.
wants to say something.
Yeah,
Stop
sorry.
presenting. I stop presenting. Okay. Yeah, done. Okay. Thanks, Colleen.
I thought Jackson wanted to say something.
No, he wants to stop
just,
presenting.
helping Carmen to stop presenting.
I think. Ricarda, did you have any comments? Yes.
No, not yet.
And
Louise, yes.
Louise, any comments? Lulu. Oh, maybe she'll come.
Hello, Louise. Yes.
Hello, Louise. It's all
Okay.
right.
Okay. I wanted to ask if it was okay for everyone to, maybe for us to sit in the presence, a collective presence, and to maybe with a guided meditation slightly, and then to, as you are in the presence, to trust your connection to love, your connection to spirit, and to be open to convey any message that you receive. Is this okay with everyone? So if we sit gently, and then if you have something to say, yes, maybe if we all, yes, unmute, and then when the energy is right for you, then you don't need to find your unmute button. So can everyone unmute, please? Yes.
We are not. We're not unmuted on otherwise we'll have microphone.
Jackson will not do it because if he talks there, it will have like
Microphone.
yeah. So he will come here.
Okay.
We can hear him.
He will scream from there.
And that way, if you are snoring, we will all hear.
Okay. Yes.
That is not for you, Jackson, but everyone. Yes.
Me.
Yes. Great. Okay. So can we take a few deep breaths, closing our eyes and relaxing gently into our seats, finding our feet on the floor, finding a place that allows us to rest easily. Let us breathe in gently the light of love and gently release frustrations, ideas, preoccupations, breathing in love and breathing out any negative energy. Yes. Let us do this several times till we find our comfort. Breathing in, breathing out. And again, in this beautiful light of love. And out. And in again. And out. As you now sit in this place of trust with yourself, continue to breathe in and breathe out. Trusting the world around you. Breathing in and out. Trusting that God has it all in hand. Release the stress and the tension in your neck, at the back of your head. If you need to, move your neck as it stores much stress. And your shoulders. Feel the tension and release. As we open our hearts, please imagine a beautiful white light that is pouring down upon us all, gently, compassionately, opening your crown chakra. We open up our hearts and our minds and our spirits to receive and to open the channel for love to communicate with us. This white light pours down through our crown chakra, throughout our bodies, down through our minds clearing as it goes, gently but firmly, as you trust. The cleansing can only happen when you trust, when you are ready to release. The white light pouring down through your neck. Cleansing your mouth, cleansing your throat, clearing all thoughts and ideas but words that now have no longer relevance. Yes. Your throat, down through into your chest. Breathe deeply and embrace the white light that is clearing and cleansing and purifying, allowing us to raise our spirits high and joining with the collective light of love. Our arms and shoulders are embalmed. They are bathing in light and love. Down to our hands and fingertips. And as the white light then moves through our bodies, through the trunk, allow our organs, you can name them, your heart, your liver, your kidneys. Allow for the cleansing light of love to release negative and toxic light and energy. Down into your bowels, your stomach. We forgot your stomach. Yes, cleansing our stomach. That which we have fed it, that which needs to be cleansed. Yes. Down through our intestinal organs, releasing the need to hold on. And down through to our root chakra. Yes. All that is held in energy, in anger, in fear, allow it to be released. Allow the negative energy to pour down through us, down through our legs, our hips, our legs, our knees, our ankles, down to our feet. And as the light channels a beautiful flow, allow the energies to clear and pour into the earth that holds us dear, that cares for us, that longs to be cared for. Yes. Allow the flow to continue from our crown chakra through our entire bodies. Cleansing and cleansing and cleansing until you feel the love light pouring through your body and into the earth. And as we sit in this state of receptive light, let us be aware of the earth in which we sit upon, in which we are a part of. Recognize that we are integral in its health as well. Allow your hands to be raised, not in a prayer position, but in a blessing position. So with your palms outwards. And imagine the earth there in front of us all. And with the white light that pours through us, allow it to pour through our hands with a beautiful energy that we radiate from ourselves onto the world in which we live, pouring forth this great healing light, this cleansing light. Radiating love, not fear, compassion, not pain, an energy of joy and not sorrow. For we are truly loved. All that is in love. And we do not ask for healing, but we radiate this love in the knowing that healing will occur. It is a shift in energy, we are reminded. A shift in our perspective, in our energy, that will create and spread the healing light that will create this heaven on earth. For all those that suffer, we radiate this light, this healing light. For all those that are indifferent, shut off from the world, we radiate this healing and loving light. For all those that are lost, for all those that cannot find their way, we radiate and we embody this healing light of love. And we join with the collective light of our mentors, those in the spirit world that are supporting us, but we join with them as legitimate co-creators to establish peace on earth in everything that we think, in everything that we say, in all our actions, that we operate from a place of peace and love and release all fear. And as we allow our hands to rest upon our laps, let us sit in this quiet state of peace, knowing that we are well taken care of. And let us sit for a few minutes in quiet. And we open up our hearts and our minds, releasing all chatter, and now being open for a message from our own spirit or from another that may want to come through to communicate to the group. Yes. Is there anyone who has something to share?
Thanks, Colleen. It was really relaxing.
I have a message that comes from those who are regular sitters, yes, with our group. The message is to release your fear, release the need to say the right thing, release your control, and sit in a space of acceptance, of love. The purpose of this group is not to endeavor to study so much as to learn how to release your fear and your constructs that bind you and your spirit to conventionality. Free this space in your heart and know that inspiration will come forth, but only if you find the space. We do not ask for grace to come upon us, for there is already grace in us, if we but open our hearts and our minds to it, to discover the space that allows for love to manifest. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. Thank you for the beautiful meditation. I was really relaxed. Thank you.
Thank you.
All for coming. We're gonna see you again next Tuesday at 6:30. Keeping the studies, I will share the next lesson for you guys to have a reading, so we can always be prepared if you have the opportunity to do so. And God bless your week, and I hope to see you all guys next week. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Di, can I ask, did you receive my text? Yes,
Your text.
on WhatsApp.
I